Whoa. George, are you there?
I am here.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Uh,
get rid of these bots that are on. So I'm just trying to finish removing 4 bots. I don't know where they come from. Space.
that's just a computer.
Yeah, just somebody. Hey, uh,
Oh, my phone was about to die, so I had to put it on the cradle. Um,
oh, all right. Well, good morning.
Good morning. Are we the only ones here? I haven't heard anybody
We're
else.
just giving you a complex.
Oh, okay. Like,
I'm
oh
looking at
no.
the chat, and a couple of things popped up in the chat that show people
Mhm.
added an AI bot,
Yes.
fireflies and things.
And I'm trying to sort of clean them up a little bit.
Hey, George, did you figure out whether that documentary is a movie or something we can watch online?
It's coming out, didn't I? Isn't it coming out April the 22nd?
Oh, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
What, as a movie
As a documentary or a movie. It's on
on
YouTube, so
on
more.
YouTube? Okay.
So as you and I wanted to really get into the Clarity Act, but anyway, as
Okay,
you
I
get
just
into
wrote
it a
that down
little
on the
bit,
calendar. That looks fascinating and
yeah, and then this New York Times article and the whole thing. So I thought we'd get
yeah.
onto that as sort of finishing up, but do the Clarity Act after we talk to after you talk and after Adam talk. I mean, Aaron talks.
Um,
So, just kind of see how everybody's doing after Easter. And
so glad this week has gone by. The Senate Finance finished its budget on Wednesday, and so far things are going nicely.
well, you got your bill signed.
Got my bill signed on Monday. I got money in the budget
Like
on
that.
Wednesday. I mean, it's been a good week.
Well, that is a good week.
Yeah.
Um, the data center issue is still a big cluster.
I
So,
don't know if they're going to pass anything. It's getting kind of late. We only have
hey,
5 more weeks left.
I know exactly. So we'll see. Um, what are some of the other hot little things? I did see they trying to get a new election commissioner appointed. I think he's going to be approved. So,
Well,
uh,
that's not on my radar. Is it a good
yeah,
person?
I I just saw the back of his head at a committee meeting, and they
Okay.
were uh, they were grilling him, and he handled himself nicely. So let me put it that way.
Who would want that job? Gosh.
Well, this guy's kind of a fighter. He's anyway. So we'll
Uh-huh.
see how it turns out.
Good.
Yeah. So uh, hello everybody, and why don't we go ahead and get started? Because we could probably abbreviate this meeting today to try and end around 15 minutes after 10, something
Okay.
like that. But I wanted to talk, we want to get some updates because we got some important data coming out from the feds and from on some of the indexes that Patty's going to talk about. Aaron's going to tell us when Bitcoin's going to reach $1 million, and
Yeah.
then he's going to project. Anyway,
This year, I hope.
wouldn't that be nice? And then we want to jump into. I want to jump into the Clarity Act because it's interesting timing, I guess. I've said something about the FDIC, but we'll maybe jump to the uh, more important uh, conversation about who is Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin. So anyway,
I
Um,
think that's easy to figure out, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag.
don't let the cat out of the bag yet. We want to figure
Who
out.
is it? I want to know.
I want
I
to
know who I know who I
know.
think it is and have thought for a long, long time.
Well, I've got a different
Ooh,
take on it, but I'd sound weird right now. So we've got to develop the conversation. Then I can sound weird. But anyway, okay,
okay. All right. Well, I
take it
can
away.
breeze through my market report. Well, things are looking up. Everything's moving in the right direction. The Dow is up seven, well, not since the market just opened, but as a pre-market, it was up almost 2,000 points for past 5 days, 1,775 points. That's 3.81%. S&P is up 4.79%, 312 points. The Nasdaq's up 825 points. I couldn't figure out the percentage on that, but it's probably close to 4%. Russell is up 4.53%, 115 points. Gold is up 2.5, probably 2.6%. Looks like it's up again today. Silver's up 5.38%. It was only $3.88, but still, it's hovering around $76. The dollar, the 10-year, and WTI, we all needed those to go down. So the dollar has weakened. It's down $2.24 to about 98.73 this morning. Last week it was, remember, $112 and some change. The 10-year is down only zero point 0.4 points, but it's still, at least it's down 4.295. And WTI crude uh, is down $14.54. It's 97.52. You know what? On the dollar that I said 112, that was WTI. Sorry. The dollar's only down $2.24.
All right, I'm
CPI
confused. What is oil?
oil is 97.52. Let me just see if it changed. It went up this since I looked about an hour ago. Now it's 98.35. But it was up on Monday at
Yeah,
100 and
yeah, 12.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Okay, so we need that to go down. And I basically think everything that the market is watching is relates to the um, Strait of Hormuz. Our ships going
Mhm.
through that don't just benefit Iran,
Yeah.
but the rest of the world. So CPI came out, and of course it's skewed because of the gas prices going up and all sorts of energy going up. But it's 3.3% over year, which is not good. And it's up 0.9% in March if you're just taking it by month. And that is almost an 11% surge in energy. It's 10.9%, which 21.2% of that is gas. It's the highest it's been since April of 2024. And remember, it was February, the number was 2.4. So 3.3 over 2.4 is the wrong direction if you're thinking about cuts and interest rates. The core without food, you know how you take those two items out, it's not that bad. It's 0.2% as opposed to 0.9%, and year over year would be 2.6%. So
So
that was
what?
only 2 points above February if you take out food and energy. And
Okay,
that's
okay,
what the
those
Fed
two.
looks at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks a lot better if you take the energy and food out. Um, there
Yeah.
were signs of deflation. Medical care, personal care, and used cars and trucks all declined. So that's kind of interesting. Are we moving towards deflation or stagflation? And on the stock market, I guess just overall, if you're trying to see, hey, what's moving? Hardware stocks
Mhm.
like AMD, um, SanDisk, what do you call it? STX. those are all like going crazy. I think SanDisk was up $76 the other day. And software is just getting crushed.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Palo Alto, ServiceNow was down to $88.
Wow.
They're
That was at
down
five
more
hundred
than
dollars at one time, wasn't it? Like, I mean, this a couple of years ago. But
a
yeah,
while ago.
crazy.
I don't know if it ever got up to 500, but I mean, for it to be $88 is crazy. So that's just a general trend that is going on in the stock market.
Yeah.
That's all I got. But things are moving in the right direction. I don't know how long this is going to last. Maybe 2 weeks, and see what happens with the war. But so far,
Well,
everyone's exuberant.
looks like Dow's trying to go up a little bit. It's negative right now, but I don't
Yeah,
know. It's just kind of floating around 100 points down. So we'll see.
Nasdaq, S&P, and
They're
Russell
up.
are up,
Yeah.
but not too much. Yeah.
Well, you don't have any crystal ball that can tell us about the next rate cut?
I they only have a quarter point baked in at the moment, and it might not be till December. I
Okay.
think hiking rates, which was being discussed early part of the year, is off the table. They're not going to hike rates.
Okay.
Yeah,
Has anybody on the call got a predictive market trade in on the next rate cut by chance? Nobody? Okay.
no.
So just kind of, I do have one in on the Masters, and we'll talk about that a little later, maybe. We got other stuff to talk about. Aaron, you want,
Just don't use your cell phone to make it
why not?
because they don't allow them at the Masters, and they threw one of the players out for having a phone.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. If you're physically present on the golf course at the Masters, do not use your cell phone. Yeah.
Because they'll throw you out.
Yeah, they
They
don't
have a no
allow.
cell phone, no electronics policy. Have for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
They don't want cell phones going off in the middle of the golf.
There is a mute button. Okay.
Yeah, it's called "Don't Have Your
Yeah.
Phone."
And that requires a human intervention. So good luck with that, humans. Anyway, sorry. Um, Aaron.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right. Yeah, I don't know when Bitcoin's going to hit a million. Um,
Damn it.
uh, I do think it is. I mean, soon, right? At some point. Um,
5 to 10 years.
it just may hit like 10,000 before that. Who knows? But
Oh
yeah,
God,
so
don't
we
say
did
that.
see. Yeah, no, I mean, nothing's really surprising. I do think, a million is in the cards in our lifetime. I think that'll be my official statement. Um, but no, we saw a little bit of positive movement on the ceasefire news and kind of bounced back up. People are saying for real this time, so I won't get too excited until we really um, spend some time, like get a daily close or a weekly close above that like 72, 75 range. Just too much, I think, volatility and tension, but it is good overall for a little bit of recovery and some movement. Um, it was
Mhm.
kind of ironic. We talked about Tau bit tensor last week, and then this week it had a 10% decline. There was I think it's like Covenant AI or one of their partners separated or moved away from them due to some decentralization concerns and governance concerns. But um, it was ironic that Bitcoin and everything else goes up, and then it's the one that plummets pretty sharp. But I think overall they're going to be, fine. I don't think it's like a giant fundamental thing. But it was just ironic that I think if we talk about something doing really bad by next week, it's going to do good. So we'll see. um, but yeah, no, what else? There was a ETF filed for Pepe meme coin, which is kind of Doge is
Really?
more solid, so it's kind of I wouldn't really call it a meme coin at this point. But seeing like Pepe with what it hit and seeing it on, in an ETF, or at least, some institutional awareness on it, it's kind of gives hope for maybe a spot of some legitimacy to them. Still ultra volatile, but not, it's just interesting to see where that started from and then where it's at now, which is kind of cool. And along with meme coins, this is kind of funny. Trump is acting like they're called KOLs or KOLs, or the key opinion leaders within crypto, and they shill a lot of meme coins, but it's like Trump, the president, is shilling his own meme coin. If you look at his Truth Social post about he loves meme holders, and they have a conference. I think it's April 25th for the Trump token, where like the top 200 or so holders are meeting down there. He's going to give them a champagne toast, and
Yeah.
it's just a
He did
wild.
that last year.
Yeah, and what's funny is he's hinted about dropping Trump too. So who knows if we're going to get another crazy coin that goes into the billions like it did before. I know a lot of people call that the top of the meme coin market because it did so crazy, such crazy numbers. There are a lot of people that ended up retiring off that one. Like,
Keep us
yeah,
abreast of Trump dot two.
yeah,
And because Mike Green has got several $1,000s sitting on the sideline waiting for another meme
That's
coin to
right.
drop.
That's right. I mean,
well,
I want my rug pulled again.
well, here's the thing. You got to hedge it, right? So there's a prediction market, and I think
Oh, look at
it,
you go.
and
That's a
I
great
think it
idea.
was it's 30% odds that he doesn't launch. So what you do is you put the prediction market that he doesn't launch at like 30%, and then if he does launch it, you buy it. So it's it's a win-win at that point. So but so yeah, that somebody put that post. I thought it was pretty funny where you could be like, well, he doesn't launch it. All right, I make some money on prediction. He does it does like a 10,000% in the matter of like 24 hours. So it's pretty funny. But the other thing with the news, there's more and more evidence kind of pointing towards it. Uh, I don't think it's barren, but somebody in the White House that has a side hustle before these announcements. I think they're 15 for 15 or 16 for 16 on these really, really large short and long bets right before the ceasefire. There was somebody that put
Right.
$100 million, short on oil.
Oh my God.
Um, and in this the same account, which is decentralized on Hyperliquid, so you can't really verify it, but they bet on all these events right before or within like a day or two of the actual announcement, and they're up, I think, $165 million. So
Jesus.
yeah,
Gee,
somebody has
he's
it's
got
almost
swag.
too obvious at this point that they got some information. But if you can, yeah, track that wallet. But they are pretty tricky. I've been trying to keep tabs on it, but they'll end up they send it to different wallets, but then by the time the play's over, you see, oh, that's the same guy that did that. But yeah, that's interesting. Corruption in finance. What else is new?
Yeah.
You
But
wanted decentralization. What did you think was going to happen? You
yeah,
you
no,
can't
exactly.
you can't have both. You got to pick
I
one.
know. I know.
Well,
I just ride the waves. Ride the waves. But yeah, that's all I got.
Did you? I really just caught a headline. JP Morgan did another ETF on recently, and it was well received. I, I was going to look it up, but you know,
Crypto?
it was a crypto ETF. Um,
Oh,
anyway, okay.
I
Well,
thought he
we'll
hated
maybe talk about
crypto.
that later. So let's move. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Patty. But
Yeah,
let's talk about the Clarity Act, which is
that's what we need.
sitting in the Senate. It's been passed by the House, and it's being fought over. Everybody says it's over yield, but and I guess that's what it is. Anybody want to take a shot at, I mean, so basically we need to get this thing out of the Senate and there's a number of hoops and there's a deadline coming up. So um, I think the one of the first things is that the we understand that the Genius Act talked about stable coins not having a yield, not able to have a yield, but now there is talk about a yield on passive stable coin that sits in an exchange, which is sort of a different animal. I think I'm right on this. It's a little bit fuzzy because we're dealing with Congress, and they can, you know, they can make you go blind. Look at those guys. But anyway, um, so just I'm thinking that there's the yield question. There's also there's sort of this. There seems to be four, I think, four things going on that's creating this standoff. And one is the yield. And I think that the banks think that if they are able to allow an exchange to create a yield, a passive stablecoin possession as opposed to active, this, and everybody, let's just, you can make your own assumption of what that means. Um, then that the banks will lose a $500 billion in deposits going to a stable coin because they're able to get a better yield. I think that's what the
Yeah.
issue is.
It's
And
yeah, it's competition for the banks. Yeah.
yeah, and so they're pushing hard, and so that's one of them. The next one is I mean, the Democrats want no Trump or um, no persons to be involved in trading in crypto that sit in the White House or affiliated with the White House. And so um, that's basically directed at the Trump organization and the Trump specifically. So that's obviously coming out of whose mouth? Take a senator's guess where that's coming from.
Pocahontas.
That's right.
Who's
Very
that?
good.
Ding, 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 ding. Give that man a quarter.
But can they be in Congress though? I guess they can be in Congress though, but they just
Of
can't be in the
course.
White House.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Who
yeah.
is Pocahontas?
Just,
Elizabeth Warren.
Warren. Just
Oh,
think of the most evil thing. That is what she will do because she is just a horrible human being. Horrible.
so she's helping
Worst
the
You're
banks.
far
human
too kind,
ever.
Mark. She is a horrible human
I'm
being.
holding back because this is recorded. But yes, if you want to know what I really think of her and
Put it
her
on
role in
subs.
stealing my house, criminal. And we can talk over a beer or something sometime.
Yeah, but you're buying. If we're
The
No, I'm
talking,
beer.
not. She stole my house. I can't afford
I
to
can't
now.
afford, I can't afford it. My
Half a million
BMW
dollar piece of property, George.
needs some detailing. Okay, so so those are kind of they also would like some stronger anti-money laundering guardrails. So those are kind of some of the stumbling blocks that we have um, in this issue in the Senate, and it's to me it's really important that it gets passed because we need those two guardrails, the Genius Act and the Clarity Act, to establish what trading and what holding and what the landscape looks like for crypto in this country. Because if we, in my own opinion, if we miss the boat and we don't get this, then people will start to move offshore, and we are that's my opinion. Move offshore, and they start creating their own crypto world that leaves us behind. So we'll just take that as it is. But but there is a compromise between Tillis and Allsbrooks that looks like it may get some traction. The issue right now is that Congress, or at least the yeah, the Congress is in recess until Monday, and they go back to work on Monday. And I think Bis Besant, the Treasury Secretary, has started to push hard to get this thing moved forward. So, anybody else have any ideas about what's going on with the Clarity Act, or want to pine in on this as opposed to just listening to me drone on?
Are we any closer to getting it passed, or it's just in stalemate?
It's in, I would say it's in stalemate. I think
Mm.
there is this compromise between Tillis and Alsbrook is not uh, panacea for anybody, but it allows for a yield with what they call an active stable coin. So you're actively using the stable coin to create a in a trade, let me put it that way, as opposed to just letting it sit like you do a CD in your bank. You just put the money in a
Right.
CD and it just sits there. Uh, if that's the case with the stable coin, then it gets no yield. And I
So
think
no
that
staking. Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, George, let me just help you. Just to wrap it up real quickly, because I don't follow it as closely as I would like to. We're so focused on state policy right now, but Bessett's been out with
yeah, but you can articulate it better than me,
an
Jim.
op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. David Sachs is on. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, David Sachs is on. I mean, today posting vigorously about how it's time for this to happen. I think we're at that point where there's going to be a Clarity Act, but it's a tough process to watch, and
Yeah.
I mean, my colleagues, watching it daily. I mean, it's excruciating going through some of the documentation that comes out. So, we're getting there though. That's the key.
Well, if it doesn't pass, I mean, is it the end of the world?
As we know it.
No, it's. I mean, obviously, the attitude is if it's better to have no bill than a bad bill.
Yeah.
And that really, I mean, that's the industry's focus. That's been Coinbase's focus. I mean, DeFi is a big obstacle, obviously, simply because there is no supervision. I mean, DeFi is a protocol. So how you stuff all the KYC and know your customer, Bank Secrecy Act, all that into this new protocol has really been the holdup since day one. I mean, if it had been done in really with priority, digital identity would have been the first thing that would have been addressed. I mean, personal information, and how we're going to, regulate this new industry and understand, where transactions go and who's making if if there's a black hat acting. So that's been the challenge all along, and we're seeing the results of it now. I mean, just taking that time, to put this all together, and I mean, basically to try to recreate the current existing financial system. I the little bit of reading I did on Cyril's statement on DeFi was really, trying to craft it back into, mainstream finance. And Blockchain Association, a number of groups came out, opposing it, and that's, I mean, I believe that's one of
Yeah.
the regulatory hurdles right now.
Hmm.
So, and the other one is time. And so here's kind of the hurdles. They've got to, once they reach an agreement, the banking committee has to do a markup. And I don't know how all these processes work, but there's a markup. And then you have to put it before the entire Senate. And there has to be a 60 vote acceptance of the bill. So you can just see this thing marching towards the end of the month of April, very close to May. And then after you get that done, then you have to have a reconciliation with the House bill that was passed earlier. Okay. So
Hmm.
then you got to bring that together. Then after they finish that, they have to do a reconciliation with the Ag Committee's um, version of the Clarity Act. And so you can
It's a
just see
mess.
that the hurdles to get this thing done, to get it on the desk of the president before June is imperative because at
For midterm.
June
Yeah.
It's
they start working on reelection and they don't want any talk about any kind of Clarity Act. And then in June, you start getting talk about elections, and then you got primaries as well. So they refocus, and then November happens, and the Democrats take over the House. This clarity bill is dead, and we got
oh,
nothing. We got that's what I see, but
huh.
that's
Well, we
my
still have
opinion.
genius, but I mean, the other side of that argument is that this is critical to the administration's uh, economic plan. I mean, obviously, unleashing yields, stable coins,
Yeah,
the market, obviously, built, competition associated with it. The new demand for treasuries. That's what keeps this economy moving and keeps the buyers, for treasury bills. I mean, that's the, and obviously opposition, I'm sure, sees that as well. So there's an effort, to slow it down or not have it happen. So um, my glass is half full. Not
good.
bottom line.
Yeah,
It's
good.
not,
It's got to be.
I'm, and if it doesn't happen, we have a lull. I mean, it's not as clear sailing as we hope it would be, but
Right.
I mean, I believe this economy is a strong I mean, it's an amazing economy we have right now, and the short term aberrations of oil, the increased price at the pump. I mean, if we're paying a little bit extra right now, and we resolve, you know, this conflict in the Middle East, or Iran is no longer the threat actor that it has been, certainly worth the price. But keep in mind, I mean, the tax bill, gave businesses 100% write-off, for capital expenses in
Yeah.
2025. I mean, so that's money that's already been spent, going into the economy, and that's how, so we've got. I mean, I was listening to I was group on Fox Business talking about a new rare earth um, site in Idaho. They bought existing mines and put it all back together again, and I
Oh,
mean they've got metals coming out of there for the next 100 years. They've already spent all the money to do it. They bought all the equipment, all brand new equipment. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars. So if that's an example of what's been going on in the background, by the folks that have watched this every day and have and are making this, these big capex bets and expenditures, there's lots coming down the road. I think I feel very, very positive about the economy personally.
Well,
yeah,
I heard
yeah,
one of the largest gold mines in America is here in South Carolina, Kershaw County,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's been
Oceana
there for
Gold.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like,
but
wow.
I think the processing of the rare earth minerals is the other issue that has been a stumbling block. Not necessarily just mining them, but they gave that to China because of the environmental regulatory issues that we have in this country that stifled the rare earth mineral development in this country to move it offshore to China where they don't have
Representative.
issues. But that's my take. Anyway, all right.
To locate your account using
Uh,
your account number, please press 1. To locate your account using your account number,
okay.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Hold on.
Someone's revealing their account number.
enter your easy pass.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
that
Is
must be
that you,
Mike Green.
Dennis?
That Mike
Someone's
Green must be
sharing.
spending money.
No, write down the account number when he comes up. So
Well,
Who's checking their bank
can I
account?
just add this? I skipped over it in my notes, but as part of CPI, they always report on personal income and savings, and personal income was down 18.2 billion in February,
enter
and
4-digit PIN.
expenses, people are spending more. The increase was
You continue to try to log in.
103.2 billion.
Your
So
account
the income's going down, but people are
have your
continuing to spend.
by email.
George, you need to mute whoever's
I
revealing
don't, I
your
don't know.
personal
I'm not
data.
sure who it is.
Yeah.
It's
Reba.
not Mark.
It's
It was
Reba got
Reba.
it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
All
Okay.
right. So thank you, Dennis, for doing a good recap. But I think um, we'll see how it goes. I think there's a bunch of hurdles that they've got to do, and I think but there's a big push, and we'll see if we can get some Democrats to come around, I guess. Well, we'll see also what happens in the midterms and see if
And
we can get some, yeah.
why would Democrats not be for the Clarity Act?
I think it's primarily because they're concerned about fraud
Yeah.
and the use of DeFi.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the holdups. But they're also concerned about the Trump administration's conflicts of interest. And perhaps the banking lobby is strong on the Democratic side too. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. They don't want to change. Let's keep things as is. That's just not going to work.
Right. Right.
Yeah. The only astrology I want to add to that is April 25th is when Uranus moves back into Gemini, and it'll be there for 7 years, and that's like revolutionary change. And Gemini is all about technology. So I feel like something's got to happen.
I'm following Patty.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We'll see what happens.
we got a few minutes left. Why don't we just shift over a little bit to um, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? And this came on my radar just recently with an article in the New York Times about, and Dennis, you were at Bitcoin 2025 in Vegas, but anyway, and that it relates this article relates to that, in that they are trying to. There's several things coming out now, and this article is one that got my attention, and they're trying to do some parallels between the early days of Bitcoin development and the conversations that went on between some of the behind the scenes characters that were involved in this whole process of creating what we know as Bitcoin, and who was this person that was sort of instrumental that we've sort of, I guess not me, but others have identified as sort of the godfather or the father of Bitcoin, which is Satoshi Nakamoto. And so the New York Times article advocated for a fellow named Adam Back. And does anybody know who this Adam
He looks,
Back fellow
he just
is?
looks like a computer nerd.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of what it is. And I mentioned that because he spoke at Bitcoin 2025, and I asked Jennifer, who's not on the call, but she was there, if she remembers anything about that, and she's trying to look up some things. Dennis,
Well, Adam's the founder of Blockstream. I mean, Blockstream is, I mean, he's one of the early developers. He's, the footnotes, white paper. He's right
yes,
there talking
yes,
about electronic cash. I mean, it's certainly a possibility, that
hmm
Adam Back could be Satoshi Nakamoto, but who really cares? I mean, in the long run, you know, I mean, I believe left. I mean, it's probably
Oh,
NSA, bottom line.
no
And they're watching
telling.
everything we do anyway, So,
Yeah,
well,
um,
if I were a bad guy, I would care if I were that guy, Adam, because somebody is going to capture him
yeah,
and
and make
say,
him
"Give
give
me
up
all
his
your
keys.
Bitcoin."
Yeah.
he's got a lot already, so I'm sure that's part of his threat analysis, without a doubt. I mean, I met Adam back in when I met Scott Meta at
Now, wait a
the
minute. Say
decentralized
that again,
event.
Dennis.
I met
You met
Adam
him.
back. Yeah, I met Adam back when I met Scott Stradata
Oh,
at
okay.
decentralized in Athens in 20 whatever that was, 2017, 2018, and we chatted. As a matter of fact, couldn't get a bank account. That's when we were working. You had trouble, getting a bank account, pure and simple, and because he was involved in crypto and he couldn't be banked and had gone through that whole process. And at the time we were working on the stable token South Carolina Palmetto coin, and the investor was said, "I'll bank him." And they started getting into
Wow,
some of the details of that, but it never happened.
that's
But
interesting.
yeah, so there's a little bit of
So I
personal
think what the
history
article
there.
does is it does a deep dive in sort of paralleling things that Satoshi wrote and what Back wrote, and the wording and the phrasing and the sentences closely. That's his that's his take on why he thinks Back might be him, because what the words Satoshi wrote and what Back wrote are very similar, and they go down through a number of different things. They were talking about spam, and they were talking about um, decentralization, and and then they tied in some other names that I'm not familiar with. But this Hal Finney, does
Yeah.
anybody know who that is?
Outfit is probably more likely.
Okay, Les, you want to
But
pine in?
Tell us who it is, Les. Come on.
Yeah,
I'm
because we
going.
got
I'm,
two
I'm
minutes
going to
left.
stick with Carly Simon and not reveal who's so vain.
yeah,
Okay, all right. So
Al Finney. I'm
I
gonna
thought
look
it
up
was
Finney.
Chris Wright.
Chris
well,
Wright.
I think we've proven that one wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Well, I
Craig
tell you,
Yeah,
Wright?
Craig,
yeah,
Craig
Craig
he
Wright.
Wright.
did.
Yeah,
Craig
yeah.
Yeah.
Wright. I
Yeah,
Watch
actually met
Clearly.
him. I met
yeah.
him in his offices in London. Um, he's quite a strange guy.
He is. I mean, I
yeah.
Are
watched
you
him
being
in
nice?
Malta on the
He's
step
definitely
of
a
Brock
two-door
Pierce.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a charlatan.
they were going at it, boy. I'll tell you, in the lobby of the Hotel Intercontinental. Greg Wright and Brock Pierce, man, it was a hoot. It was something else. They were calling him down, left, right, and center. Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Well, listen, we're gonna the Masters is on this week. I have a trade in, if you will, $2 on McElroy being the leader of the or ahead of the field this today at the end of the day today. I've got McElroy as the leader. He was the leader. I believe he was the leader yesterday, round one. So round two's bet is on McElroy. I got $2 on it to see if he is the leader today. And then, I mean, there are so many different in the predictive market. There are so many nuances of the Masters. I mean, there must be 20 or 30 things going on with the Masters that you can place a prediction market bet on. And one of them is the number of hole in one. Does anybody know if there was a hole in one yesterday at the Masters?
No, but that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean it's you can
We would
bet
have
that
heard
they're going to
about
be.
that one.
Say again.
I said we would have heard about that. I think that would be big
Yeah,
news.
I
Yeah,
did.
hole
I
in.
didn't hear anything.
Well, yeah. So they do count up the number anyway. There's a lot of
McElroy won't
different things you
choke
can.
until Sunday, so that's the time not to make the bet. He'll choke on Sunday.
He has
McElroy.
bad karma.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet on him either.
One of the young rookies is from Greenville. I forget his
Wow,
name.
you're kidding.
Yeah.
There's
That's awesome.
there's a prediction market trade on the debutante, I think is what they call them, the making their debut in the Masters that are amateurs, and that might be one of the characters involved. A guy from Greenville, huh? That's kind of
The
cool.
Yeah.
prediction
Yeah.
market for next
I think
week.
his name is Richards, last name, maybe I forget.
Jacob
Well,
Bridgman,
that sounds good.
Greenville native, former Clemson golfer Jacob Bridgman. His first Masters tournament. He
Man,
started with a strong one under par 71.
that's pretty strong.
Additionally, Greenville native Clemson graduate Lucas Glover has participated in the Masters. Okay. I don't think he's there this year.
All right.
Yeah, no, that was a while ago.
We all have
Prediction market for South Carolina digital asset policy next week. Will S-163 have a 4 vote and pass?
Yes, it will.
All right. So we're not taking bets on this one.
No, don't take a bet on it. No, there are a bunch of bills. Like I have to follow all these hunting and fishing bills that, people are like going crazy over blue catfish. And a ton of bills got out of committee of Ways and Means, LCI, House Agriculture, and they will be placed on the calendar on Tuesday. Hopefully you'll get a reading by Thursday. I bet you they'll rush it and give it a reading on Wednesday unless somebody protests. So yes, you will get a reading.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm planning to be up there. And
On
next
what day,
prediction market
Dennis?
for South Carolina policy, will H 4766 get a hearing before the end of session? That's the Dow Act.
I
I
South
don't
Carolina
know.
Dow Act.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, I'll take the bets on this one.
I have to pull the tarot cards on that one.
Oh, Lord.
Little insider information.
All right. Well, let's
All right.
wrap it up, and everybody have a great Masters weekend. It's going to be beautiful here in South Carolina, and may it be beautiful wherever you live,
Well,
weather-wise.
how about we pray that this war is going to end? Gosh, so we can
Well,
get
that
some
would be
peace.
great. That's.
Yeah,
Thank you for throwing that in there, Patty. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to get that thing done, and anyway,
Get
that's
back
another
to
story, isn't it?
normal
Y'all have
life.
a great weekend. Let's get out of here and say that we'll see you next Friday. Thank you
Thank you,
very
George.
much.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye bye.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Reba.